Good evening, everybody. Welcome to your Friday night edition of Not Another Rangers podcast, and happy Halloween to everybody. For those that are in watching tonight and not out trick-or-treating, as we call it in America, apparently our Scots going next week. But so, back when we were boys, it was just called Halloween, wasn't it? And there was no such thing as trick-or-treating. It was monkey nuts and things like that was all you ever got, but it's a vastly different experience just now. So happy Halloween, everybody. If you've dressed up, we maybe should have dressed up. I never thought of that beforehand, although some would say we always look a bit of a nightmare and look a little bit scary on here anyway. So probably not much difference for any of us. So in terms of this evening, we have Scott, we have Ricky, we have myself. We are going to discuss our second domestic win in a row from 2 nights ago, which already seems like ages ago, and preview the upcoming Old Firm League Cup Premier Sports Cup semi-final, which we'll get into in a bit of depth and obviously pick up on that. So that'll be the focus. I don't think the Hibs game had a huge amount that happened in it, but we'll try and pick up some of those things. So welcome to both of you. So Ricky, I was Googling earlier on before I come on, right, just out of curiosity, because to see if Cyprus doesn't really celebrate Halloween. Is that right? Although you did dress up anyway.
Nah, that's nonsense, mate. There's loads of expats across here. So I had 30
People told me that.
Google's full of shit, mate, honestly. 30 kids I had at my door tonight. 30. In different groups, but over 30 kids. And my wife went mental because I was sitting with a big pile of sweeties. I was watching a few podcasts before with a big pile of sweeties in front of me. And she came back, she was doing something, and I was eating all the kids' sweeties. So I got a clip around the ear. Big style, mate. But no, they celebrate Halloween over here. Big style, but it's been fun. But you can only dress up once. Once is enough, mate. I'm not one of these people. You're milking it if you dress up any more than once. So once and that's it.
And Scott, so you're a Paisley man, as we know. So basically every Friday night is a bit like Halloween when there's a lot of people just walking about the streets. So it's hard to kind of tell the difference now. So for anybody that's watching it from Paisley, I'm a Hampshire boy, so I am like him. Don't come at me in the comments. It was a joke. So how are you, Scott, this Friday evening?
That's poor, Gary. I'm all right, but that's poor, Gary, but it's true. Listen, Halloween, nobody's came to my door, right, because I put the lights off. Shut the curtains, blinds, everything. No, I think nowadays you only go at your door if your house is decorated by all accounts. I don't know. I've not got any young children anymore, so my granddaughter was out tonight. My son took her out. He was down in Stevenson somewhere, so he's took her out down there. The street's full of kids, but like I say, unless your house is decorated, don't come. But we had a couple of things in, but nobody came to the door anyway, so...
So you just going to eat them yourself?
I like my sweeties, Gary. So I do. Just pull the fillings out and then I need to go to the dentist and get new ones. But no, that's fine. There's not many kids now right enough, but earlier on it was really full. So I took a dog a walk and there's a lot of kids about the street. It's good to see. That is good to see. It's good to see them all laughing and joking and dressed up, and you see them going to doors and getting asked, right, what's your joking stuff like that. I remember back for the old days, you mentioned that, and it was ducking for apples. Doing that nowadays, it's health and safety, isn't it? 14 different heads in the bucket, the same water, slavers galore. 24 different bite marks in the apple, and you knew on it.
There was always the strange houses you didn't, the creepy houses or the witches' houses, the ones you shouldn't go to in it. All the ones you thought was a little bit strange when you go in there with buckets of sweets and they kind of then you go up the road and pour it all out on the floor and see what you got. And there was tangerines and monkey nuts and all that rubbish.
If you got a pound coin, well, not even a pound coin, you used to have a pound note when I was younger. If you got a pound note, you were actually jumping for joy, but no, it was like nuts and wee bits of chocolate and stuff like that, refreshers, rice lollipops and stuff.
And you know, it's mental because I went out for a walk earlier on actually as well, and I was thinking, obviously listening to some podcasts, thinking about what's going to go on the night, and there was tons of kids out dressed up, you know, for a wee spell. Probably about 10, 15, 20 years ago, it kind of died a death, and there was never really much of a thing, and it seems to have maybe Americanized, as they say, with a lot of these things. They're much bigger events. My daughter's away out and dressed up and all sorts of things, away up with nightclubs. My son's away at the morning nights, Halloween parties galore for that kind of 18 to 25-year-olds in it. They love life at this time of the year.
I've done that myself when I was younger as well, but I'm not dressed up for years unless I come on here, and then I get dressed up.
At Vienna's and Paisley, or Club 30, which was back in the day, I dressed up.
The cat house, Gary, the cat house.
And you may notice, folks, that Cameron's not here tonight, so Cameron, his excuse was that he's been too busy over the week, but he's the youngest of the group. Yeah, he may still be out trick-or-treating as we speak then, so he maybe his real reason for not being here tonight. So if you are, Cameron, send us a picture of what you dressed up as, and hopefully you get lots of goodies for this evening. So anyway, Halloween talk over. In fact, last one, Ricky, what's your favourite scary movie then? Before we're going.
I liked old Jigsaw with the Saw movies, mate. They were class. The first one with the hacksaw when the guy had to chop his own leg off at the end, and then they just got better and better. I like a proper horror movie, but when you've got kids, you can't really watch a horror movie because you'll freak them out for life. You'll turn them into serial killers, so you've got to be careful. But no, I liked Saw, and I liked Texas Chainsaw Massacre as well. The old, I can't remember his name, the madman with the chainsaw. He was class. So they're my two faves.
Michael Myers, what one was he? Was he?
Halloween, Gary. I liked the first Halloween because Donald Pleasance was in it and he was a great actor. And that was really, I remember watching that. I came out about 7, 8, so I was about 5 or 6, and you did shit yourself. But I liked all the Freddy Krueger movies. Well, the first 3 were really good. The rest of them starting to get a wee bit beyond that. But the first 3 were really good.
That's the one I was thinking about. Actually, Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, I always remember when I was young. I don't know if you ever got this, but you always thought there was a Freddy Krueger running about the streets, wasn't there, wherever you lived. Do you know? And you'd be peeking around corners, think there was this mad Freddy Krueger roaming about because it was the movies you used to watch at that age, maybe about 5, 10-year-olds, when you no way should you be watching. It was shocking.
I know, 100%, mate. You're totally right. I mean, it was like we spoke about this offline, I think, last time about going to the video shop. Some of the videos, they just let you hire whatever you wanted, man. Some of the stuff you were watching when you were 11 or 12. I remember watching RoboCop and the guy got blown to bits when I was about 9, and I was like, am I meant to be watching this? Super.
Was it something in Comply? There was always a line. It was a line before, wasn't it? Yes. Before the shot and all that. I can remember it now.
Oh, brilliant.
It was great movies. They don't make them out used to, as I said.
Yes.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about Halloween or about scary movies. And basically, we're at an age where what they've done is they rebooted them all. So I Know What You Did Last Summer's back out. Scream 7's coming out soon. Do you know when you get to our age, they basically brought the new ones of the old ones back out again, and
They've done the same with Exorcist, didn't they? The original Exorcist was the best, but they just reboot all the old movies because they're good, and then the new ones. They done it with Freddy as well, didn't they? Rebooted a new one of that not a few years back, and it was poor. That was Robert Englund was the best actor for Freddy Krueger, so but that's just me showing my age.
No, and when you put a comment, I'd buy that for $1. That was the RoboCop line. That was the one I remember it now. That was a great movie. Then they went downhill rapidly after that. Even remember they made a TV series of RoboCop, a sanitized one. It was on at 6 o'clock on a Saturday night or something mental like that. It was with no violence whatsoever. Anyway, as I said, back to Rangers. So we have a lot to cover tonight with as their second consecutive win against Hibs. Hibs, who have been pretty good at home. I think they said in commentary they hadn't been beaten in 16 games unbeaten at home. We hadn't kept a domestic clean sheet since 2024. That be right? So it was very much a surprise that it was a 1-0 win for Rangers. So we are going to talk about that. It was, I think, the very definition of a hard-fought win. The very definition of a backs to the wall, get the result and get out of there and build confidence rather than a free-flowing football match. And fortunate enough, the result went their way. So I suppose, Ricky, the first thing I was going to ask, what was your overall thoughts on the game on Wednesday night?
Yeah, so, well, the team selection was wild when it came out, but I'm absolutely, as I said on Monday's pod, I'm loving Danny Röhl so far. So even when I saw the 5 changes, I was still quite confident with this new manager that he knew what he was doing. I love the fact that he watches the video of the opposition. The last game they've played, works them out pretty quick and sets up a game plan to nullify who you're playing against. We asked to go back to basics, and to be honest, Gary, I thought the first 35 minutes, I thought we were excellent. I thought that is what Danny Röhl wants the team to look like. I thought we pressed really well. We got an excellent goal from Danilo. We were keeping the ball, basically controlling the football match, using the whole pitch, tiring Hibs out, using the ball very well. And then I thought the players, you could see the tired and then we just dropped off that press just a little bit, like just getting towards the end of the first half, and Hibs came into it a little bit more. But I thought we were pretty comfortable, to be honest with you. Went in at half-time. I was surprised he went that early with the changes, but he was obviously thinking about the Celtic match with Danilo. He even said that was minutes and stuff. And then the second half was pretty... Hibs came into it without creating. They had that one chance where they blasted it across the goal, and we got lucky when it bounced off the line. We'll speak about the penalty incident later. But I thought apart from that, we were very, very comfortable. Obviously, when you're watching it, you're shitting yourself because we've got so much scar tissue with this team. You're just expecting that, oh no, the goal's going to come, the goal's going to come. You're just waiting for it because it's always been a kick in the teeth. But up until that penalty moment, I didn't think Hibs were going to score, to be honest with you. And I'm so glad Butland made that save, because the mood's totally different going into the Celtic game than what it would have been if we dropped 2 points. And we deserved the win. We asked this team to go back to basics, Gary. Everything that we've asked for from Danny Röhl so far, I think 10 out of 10 he's delivered with everything that we asked. Go back to basics, make it hard for us, make it hard to beat Rangers. Just get the points, get the wins, and then let's build things slowly with the great football and trying this and trying that. So great night. Hibs unbeaten for almost a year, mate, at home. So to go there, beat them 1-0. They're telling all their fans they didn't play well and stuff like that. They didn't turn up. But I actually think Danny Röhl's plan nullified them. Our plan was very good, and we deserved the 3 points.
Yeah. And Scott, so I mean, Big Phil's put a comment there. 2 golden chances, perhaps our luck is turning, and there is an element of that to some degree. You know, all games are often decided in little moments. You know, the luck's been against us in certain games over this season. The Hearts game being probably quite a pivotal one. It wasn't a great performance, but it was a good result and a strong defensive performance.
What they showed again, I mentioned that last week, but they showed character again. They didn't, the heads didn't go down. They took the lead fairly, took the lead with Danilo. It was a great finish, and we were playing relatively well. Hibs were, I don't think Hibs expected the way we started. They were kind of struggling. They came into a game, they're always going to come into it. Hibs, they're a decent side, they're at home, they're always going to come into it. We dropped a wee bit, but the discipline was fantastic. The shape was great. And yeah, they're always going to have 1 or 2 chances, but every team kind of does when they're playing at home. And I thought we were comfortable, like he says, and I thought I was able to deserve 3 points. And he's only been in the door just over a week, Gary, and it's just the wee tweaks and the basics he's done, and the players have listened to what he's telling them. So very, very early on, and you can see a difference. So you can see what he's trying to do. He said himself, he's not been overcomplicated with stuff. He's not giving them too much information. He's just trying to get wins under his belt, and that's what he's done so far. Obviously, apart from the European game, but the two league games, he's done that. But they've showed character in both games. They've dug deep when they've have to. They conceded a goal against Kilmarnock. The heads didn't go down. They gave away that penalty. The heads didn't go down. They're digging deep for each other. When one gets beat, there's somebody there. That wasn't there before, Gary. I wasn't in the previous. I wasn't there at the start of the season before he came in. We've seen that. So for what he's done so far, has been really, really good. But like he says, it's small steps because he's still using the same guys that we all written off basically. So he's got 2 wins under his belt, but he knows there'll be changes further afield. But he's doing his best with the squad he's got, and we can't have any complaints so far.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm just seeing this comment for Alexander. It's nothing to do with Rangers, nothing to do with the game, but I don't think we did see the St. Mirren goal that would have put them 3-1 up against Hearts. It was a bizarre decision. I've watched it a few times. I'm still struggling to understand what it was for.
I'm trying to understand why Shankland was blocked. Shankland ran round the boy.
I know McFadden said it was the right decision, man. Honestly, what is wrong with these people? It was absolutely, and it's the same kid. It's the same ref, this Matthew McDermott. Every decision from every other team this season, the Celtic penalty, the ones that are totally against the rules, it doesn't even make sense. He's involved in every single decision. This one referee. I mean, at what point do you put him in his misery and say, it's so bad, Gary? They need to sort it out, mate, because it's shocking.
I'm
To be
surprised.
honest with you, we should just away with VAR, because even having VAR
waste of
doesn't
time.
help. It
It's a
doesn't
waste
help
of
us
time.
up here, because
No,
they
waste
just
of
usually
time.
go with the ref or the linesman or whatever thinks. The standard up here, like I've said before, I don't think they're corrupt. I think they're just shite. I don't think they're good enough to be corrupt. Now, like in the NBA, you've got corrupt officials, you've got, as you can see, the amount going through in bed with the mafia and stuff. But in Scottish football, I don't think they're good enough to be corrupt. I just think they're all awful.
just poor
I just think
quality.
everyone's awful.
Decision making, and fortunately enough, we've got Nick Walsh and was it Frank Connor and that running the line, things like that for Sunday.
Listen, John Beaton's just as bad, by the way. Having
John Beaton's
night.
I suppose very quickly on John Beaton,
We're hitting the deck for no reason. And it's like, why? Especially that boy Bowie up front here, and Bowie.
That was
You
a
couldn't
classic
look at
one.
him, he was getting down. He'd done the same against Hearts, he's done the same against us. But he's getting away with it consistently, so he's always going to do it until he's told or until he's booked.
No.
I mean, my home, I went across him. I actually talked to him, and I don't know who was his commentator, I can't remember, because my granddaughter was on, I was watching it, but
James
she
McFadden,
had
wasn't it? James McFadden, I think.
he said it was like
McFadden,
a
usual.
karate chop or something.
Of course he does.
He's went down flying, and you're like, get up your knob, you're not ring me, and it's like he's blowing a free kick. I mean, everybody says beating's always towards us. That's nonsense, by the way. Total nonsense. Beating's not good enough to beat towards Rangers. You're not good enough to be a referee. There's better referees in junior football, I'll tell you that, innit?
Anyway, we digressed a little bit from there. And so back to the game then, Ricky. So 5 changes, just to pick up on them. So we'll probably talk about some of those players, particularly as it goes on. But Aarons, Giga, Barron, Sharmite and Moore come in for Tav, Gassama, Asgard, Miofsky and Diomande. Big rotation, I think you put in the chat before it. It's a lot of changes, quite wild. You don't expect that level of changes after your first win.
Yeah, no, you don't. But I think I think he wants to see. I think you'll still see. Not like we've got 2 really tough games coming up, obviously. Sunday, and then Roma, who's had. I checked Roma. I was walking my dog today, so I wanted to come home and see what they've had, what sort of start of the season they've had. And I wish I never bloody checked now. They've had their best start to the season in years. They've won every single game. They're top of the league. I was like, for God's sake, man. So we've got Celtic and then we've got Roma. So I think he's going to have to, he knows he needs to rotate the squad. But what I like, Gary, about Röhl so far is I think some players are playing their way into the team. I think Sharmite's been half decent. I know some fans are slagging him off, but I think at least he's working hard, blah, blah, blah. Danilo, I think, has been superb since he's came. He needs to play with 2 strikers, but he's played his way into the team. For me, personally, I think Moore is ahead of Asgard now. I like Moore in that number 10 position. I think he's always busy. He works very hard. He occupies defenders and he covers space very, very well. And he's a workhorse in the midfield, and you can get away with playing 2 behind him. So I think some players are really. He wants to look at every player in the squad over the next month to see what he's working with, because you can watch as many videos as you want. You can watch analysis. You can sit with your coaches and go through every player. But you need to see them in training, get to know their personalities, and then see what they can do on the pitch. So, and I think some players are sort of playing their way out of the team. I don't think Gassama's been that great. I think Asgard is still, when he comes on, he still looks like he's moving in treacle a little bit with the way he's trying to pass the ball and stuff like that. So, but I think the making 5 changes, because if it goes wrong and we play poor, then you've got then Röhl's there to be shot at you. Then you know what fans are like. They're going to be very reactive and say, "Oh, you're never going to get away with making 5 changes and stuff like that." But mate, I think this guy knows what he's doing, and I'm absolutely loving all his work so far. Everything about him, he's the absolute opposite of Russell Martin. He's not being this bragging about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. He's just quiet. He's very confident that he knows what he's doing. He does know what he's doing. He's putting players in the right position. Joshua Barry did an excellent. I'm not into all this managers and that, studying the managers and stuff, but I did like a picture he took of the team, and it was asymmetrical on the pitch. So you can see that even though he's playing 3-4-3, it's at like a mad angle on the park, the way that the players are positioned and stuff like that. So he's a clever guy, this Danny Röhl. And I'm interested to see what happens on Sunday. And I put on X today, Gary, nobody's ever going to be able to pick his team, which is amazing, because if we can't pick his team, we've not got a clue what he's going to do. Then, and that's what the Hibs manager said before the game. That Gray was like, I don't know what this Rangers. I don't know. They could set up this way. They could set up with 4 at the back, 3 at the back, 5 at the back. So if the opposition manager doesn't know what he's going to do, then it's for us that's a good thing, because we have been for years, even with Gerrard, far too obvious where this is how we play. You play with the 2 10s. You know the position at every way that every Rangers player's in. So this freshness so far, okay, it's early doors, small steps and everything. I like that. But so far, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this manager.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick up, I'm not going to go over the whole game, I'm going to pick up 3 or 4 different incidents, which basically then leads us on to talking about particular players. So, Scott, the first big incident, I suppose, is the fact that Moore pressed for the goal 5 minutes in. Jamiti lays it off. Danilo, lovely touch, and then finish. His second goal in 2 games. I think somebody said he's got a reasonable record against Celtic. So Jamiti with a goal and assist in the last couple of games, and Danilo with 2 goals. And as Ricky says, Moore looking far more assured than a kind of the ability to roam about the park rather than being stuck in one of the sides.
We pressed a unit, Gary. In the first half we were pressing as a unit. We weren't pressing as individuals. That's why we were cutting down the space, and that's why we were getting the ball back very quickly. And listen, the big man played it off, and Danilo, it's a great finish. He knew what he was doing. He didn't. It wasn't like he swiped at it or he was trying. He knew where he was going to hit it. And he's a very cultured finish, isn't it? You know what I mean? And we've always said in a 2 he's really good. As a lone striker, he does struggle because he's physicality and stuff, and that's not his game. But in a 2, he is very good because he can find that space, and we know he can finish. And he's been out of the picture for so long, he probably thought it was never getting back into the side, and he's been given a chance, and he's took it. He's got 2 goals in 2 games, and that's all you can ask for your strikers. And Jamiti, I've given him, not so much given him stick, I've given the signing stick because of the fee involved. But yeah, I mean, I've heard people saying he wasn't great. I've heard people saying he was okay. I thought he tried. I thought he put himself about. I thought he closed down. I thought he was trying to do things. And that's all I want for Rangers players. I know they're always going to play well. It's the ones that hide. And I've been guilty of giving Giga stick. I said I didn't want to play for Rangers again after the European game, but I actually thought he played well as well. And that's what you want. You just want guys to go in a park and give 100%. We all know they're always going to be fantastic. We all know they're always going to perform 10 out of 10 performance. But if you can see they're giving 100%, even if they're playing poor, that's all you ask for. That's all you ask for your team. Doesn't matter who it is. As long as they're trying and you can see they're trying, then that's all you want.
So, Ricky, I suppose I'll just because Scott mentioned there, Giga, I think Giga started poorly. He looked like still a bit of a rabbit in the headlights first 10 minutes or so. He had that tackle that was a brilliant tackle, and his confidence just seemed to grow. I think he then looked much more assured, looked much more like the player we've seen in the first couple of games of the season. And to be fair, I actually thought Suter in that centre as a kind of sweeping role is probably his best position, and to me, he was probably man of the match.
Yeah, I thought Barham was man of the match for me, but Suter wasn't far behind him. But we obviously look a lot better in a back 3. You can tell that an absolute mile away. And what I like about this formation, Gary, is you can tweak a back 3 a lot. So even for Sunday, right? Me personally, I wouldn't play Jigger on Sunday, and I know a lot of people will, because I want us to go be a bit more offensive against Celtic, because I think the way we set up against Hibs worked at Easter Road, because you had a back 3 and then you had Aarons as the right wing back in the first half, who's quite a defensive wing back. He's not really going to get forward that much. And I think Aarons has looked a lot better since Röhl came in the last couple of games, to be fair, when he's been getting minutes. McHoma's looked at his best on the left. He really suits that left wing back role. I think going forward with that security behind him, he's absolutely amazing. But on Sunday, I would like to see an attacking player as the right wing back and Tav move into the defence on the right hand side. So you'd have Tav, Suter, Cornelius, McHoma on the left, and an attacking player on the right, because I don't want us to be, this Celtic team's there to be got at for me. I think they've got so many players out. You're going to have Ralston at right back. You've got Trusty, who's dodgy, with Scales at the back for them. So I think our best form of attack on Sunday is to go right for Celtic. That's the best thing Rangers can do. So I don't want us to set up like we did at Easter Road. It worked perfect. I mean, Parkhead, Pataudry, Easter Road, Tynecastle, that is play 5 defenders and it'll work absolutely fantastic. But I think in games where you need to be a bit more, you don't want Celtic coming onto you because they've still got decent attacking players, but they're weak at defence for me. So I do like this formation with the way the defence is set up, and I think you can change it from a defensive defence to like a more of an attacking way for the team to play. So I think that'll be interesting. And Cornelius has looked a lot, but every defender has looked a lot better, to be honest with you. They're all, everything looks a lot more solid, but you can tell they're pressing a lot better because he's telling them to press. God knows, I have no idea what Russell Martin's instructions was to these players in this team, by the way. Everything that Russell Martin promised us, Danny Röhl was starting to implement that, where just the basics are running harder, pressing harder, all the sort of stuff that you should be doing anyway as a footballer. We're seeing that under Röhl, and that's given us the basis. That's given the team the basis to build from there, which is fantastic. So for me, I really like the way that he set up the defence.
No, and Ricky jumped way ahead in the agenda as always. You know, we'll come to the Celtic game. The teams have got some plans around this, some questions around this.
You asked me about the defence, and that's part of the defence.
How they played against Hibs.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. No, how they played against Hibs was a defensive way, wasn't it? They played in a defensive.
I'm going to ask you that actually to be fair as we come on. So I do think it's relevant.
A defensive way. That's what I'm saying. It worked against Hibs because it was super defensive with Aarons and McHoma. But when we play other teams, he has to change it because you don't want to always sit back, or he will start getting stick for us not creating enough chances. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, we'll definitely come back to that in a little bit of time. Second half, then I suppose Scott Tav comes on and Gassama for Magoma and for Danilo, which was like a strange one with Danilo Groff, but I think it's more about managing minutes and red zones and all that stuff that they do in Germany. I just want to pick up one thing. So just your thoughts. I don't want to be negative too much, but Gassama, I thought he was really poor when he came on, and I suppose I'm struggling to see a domestic game, and I may be wrong, that he's actually played particularly well so far yet, despite the fact he's got all the attributes and all the things in the locker. He's probably struggling to get going in domestic games.
Yeah, he wasn't great, Gary. He was trying as well, which, like I said earlier, it's good to see, but he wasn't great. But neither was Tav when he come on, so it's a toss-up between the two of them who was worse. But I think he's going to use his full squad because he knows he's not getting anybody else at this moment in time. That's all he's got to work with, and he's trying to see who's the best he's got. Because obviously, come January, might be guys he doesn't want, or might be guys he says, I need to maybe try and get rid of him and bring one or two in. I don't know what will be thinking come the January window, but he's going to make changes. He always done it with Sheffield Wednesday as well, make changes. So he's going to do it with us, and it just means people are always fit as well, Gary. I mean, a lot of managers stick with the same 11, don't make changes to the 65th minute, and that can be frustrating at times because you can see players are blowing and you think he needs to be taken off, but Danny Röhl seems to be the opposite. He's like, well, we need to keep fresh legs, we need to keep the press up, we need to keep this up, so I'm going to bring him off and bring him on, so he can tweak it anytime. He's not like a manager, you can say, like, 65 minutes, there's 3 subs coming on, as we've seen in the past. So it's good to see he's going to use his full squad. He's still getting to know each player. He's not been long in the door, so he's still getting to know their strengths and their weaknesses. He'll probably know roughly about them, but until he sees them in action, he's not going to know much. But listen, I think Gassama's got a lot of attributes. It's going to be good for us over this season and the next season. And I think Danny Röhl knows what he can do, as he managed them before. I think he just brought him on for a bit of pace and pressure, but that didn't come about. As for Tav, the least said the better. I've criticised Tav, I praised Tav, but I thought he was kind of poor when he came on, but he still gives 100%, so there's not a lot else I can say.
Yeah. So that takes us nicely to the penalty. So Tav slips, which, to be fair, I mean, people can slip, not really sure. Gerrard done it as well, didn't he? Cost the team a league title.
Gary, man, you would defend Tav and be broken into your fucking house.
I'm not
honestly,
actually.
Man.
No,
No,
let me speak, Ricky. No, he slips, and obviously then Barron makes the tackle, which is, and it's a lazy tackle. It's a penalty. It's a blatant penalty. The point I suppose we're going to make, because we want to pick up on it, is that Butland, to get the Celtic game, is that Butland then makes his 6th out of 7 penalty saves. You can talk us through your views in the penalty, Ricky, as much as you would like now.
No, mate, but come on, listen, Gary, come on.
It's a slip.
5 minutes to go. The team has been unbelievable. The fans have been unbelievable. The players have worked their socks off. Nothing daft, and the captain falls on his arse again. Gives away, and people are blaming Barron for giving away the penalty. Okay, it was a bit of a dodgy tackle and stuff like that, but just captain, 5 minutes, you have to just not make any stupid mistakes. And then, okay, he slipped, blah, 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 Gary, but come on. But anyway, Butland was the hero, and it would have felt totally different because Danny Röhl start wanting to build something, and if we come away for that game 1-1, we would not have deserved to drop points in that match. So fair play to Butland. 1 year on from he saved the same guy's penalty. I think it was the same position. I can't remember. Can you remember the penalty for the Aberdeen?
It was a worse penalty slightly the last time, but it was same idea.
Yeah, same idea. Brilliant save from Butland. They were looking at VAR straight away, desperate for him to be off his line. It
wasn't even close.
Crazy straight away for Ian Crocker. Oh, VAR, he might have been off his line. It's like, come on, it was a great save. And we deserved it. Danilo's dad deserved it. Imagine you can't disappoint that Brazilian. Imagine the disappointment in that Brazilian man's eyes if he hadn't saved that penalty. So well done to Butland. We deserved the 3 points, Gary.
Yeah.
2 fantastic victories. The week is 75% onwards to be absolutely perfect. We want to get it to 100% and beat them on Sunday and keep the Danny Röhl train going. So well done to Butland, great save. And to be fair to Barron, I mean, it was a last-ditch tackle. Barron was absolutely outstanding. I don't know if you've seen his stats from the match today. Just before you move on, I mean, it was the same as Kanté when he was at his best for Chelsea. 12.5 kilometres he ran during the game. Number 1 for almost everything in the match that you would see from a midfielder. So if Barron can keep that form up, then he's going to be a guaranteed starter in that team. I think Raskin's still a little bit hit and miss with his form. He was decent in the second half against Kilmarnock. He was all right against Hibs, but he could do a big game on Sunday, and he's capable of it, so I hope we see it. It's a shame that Barron's going to be suspended for Sunday because we could have done with him playing, mate. But no, great save from Butland. Unlucky from Barron to give away. Tav, give your head a wobble, mate, because this team needs you to stop making stupid mistakes at the worst time, because everyone's got to be on the same page, Gary, because we want to get this season going, because I don't think the league's over. I mean, Hearts have dropped points already. They're only 6. We need to catch Celtic next, and if we can catch Celtic going into the Christmas period and then see where Hearts are after that, for me, the league's not over, mate. We can still get back into this title race, but we can't afford any more stupid, like drawn away to Hibs 1-1 when we're winning with 5 minutes to go. You drop the points there, then that's us. Our bubbles burst. We're on a last chance saloon as far as this title race goes. But if we can go on a run of matches and start putting wins together, then you never know.
And we'll focus on the game against Celtic coming up now. So, but as you said, you know, there are the fixtures. There's some good fixtures that are there. In terms of, I think we've got Dundee away, which I'm up at Dens Park next week. Then we've got, is it Livingston, Falkirk at home, something like that. There's a couple of good games. So if we can start to build a bit of momentum, it will be the league as well and truly still. And as I've said many times, I've got a tenner on Rangers at 6-1. So here's hoping that's the case. Scott, I suppose a win is a win is a win, right? So all this coulda, shoulda, what would have happened if it hadn't done, as Ricky says, if we hadn't won, the bubbles maybe burst again. Is it any different from the previous games? What makes it different from the previous games that we've had this season? We've drew one each for half a dozen times. Literally, the fact is, winning is all that matters. It takes you back to things. It's not about style, it's about the result.
What most of the difference is, Gary, you see the difference. If you watch watch Rangers play all night at Hibs and watch them play, I don't know, back at Falkirk or back at Motherwell, you see a total difference. The attitude's changed. They look like they give a shit, and they're running the extra yard, and their discipline is so good, and defensively we're better. The shape's better, everything's better. Listen, it's not going to turn overnight. It was never going to turn overnight. the boy, Danny Röhl's just in the door, but he's done enough in this week and a half, however, 2 weeks he's been here, and the players are kind of getting to know what he wants them to do. He's kept everything basic. He's done a few tweaks, but they're working harder. They look a lot stronger. They're playing for each other. That wasn't there before. We concede a goal and the heads would go down. Now we're giving away chances. I concede a goal, and it's like, right, we have to get back. We have to. And that penalty that night, we conceded it, but you can see the frustration. And when Butland saved it, everybody was happy, and it was like, we need to see this out, and they did. You can see a difference. It's not going to change in that short a period, but what's changed is the attitude and the focus of the players, because we all know there's talent in there. We know there's weaknesses as well, but he's done enough to get wins. And at the end of the day, Gary, he said when he came in, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be exciting at times. It's going to be hard, but I need to get wins on the board. And he's got 2 wins. We can't have asked any more.
Yeah. And you know, it's a team. You know, they actually look like a team, which they haven't done for most of the season. I think that's been the biggest thing for me in the 2 games. They actually look like they're playing as a team. Might not be perfect in some of the touches and stuff, but there's unity there.
It's going to be a team as well, Gary. It's not just a living on the park. You can see he's going to have everyone involved, the full squad. I reckon 21, 22 players are going to be seeing minutes. Like, it's just going to be a revolving football pitch, and I think that's amazing for it. I think that with the 5 sub rule, like Rangers, you've got to use that to your advantage. You should have 21 players that can contribute week to week to week when you're playing, especially when you're playing every 3 days, and you can see that already. Like, it's before, like when you're a fan, you're like, oh, take him off at half time, take him off at half time. Röhl's just banging on subs at half time. You're like, what's going on here? Where's he playing? Tav's on, Gassama's on, this guy's off. It's absolutely brilliant. And I think that's clever management, because I think with the amount of games you're playing and people's minutes and red zones, now the players can't even train apparently for 2 days after the player match. They don't let them train apparently now, sports science. So you can only properly train 3 days after a match. So you can only train the day before you play, which is, to me, just mind-boggling.
See, I think when you look at the team, he's included everybody.
Yeah.
Martin's left a lot of people out, and they get a home from them. If they've got mates in the dressing room, they don't like it, and it can be infectious through a dressing room. Then you get players turning against the manager, and then there's cliques and stuff like that. Whereas Danny Röhl's come in and says, right, you're all included. I'm going to use you all. End of the day, some might not be here January, some might not be here next season, but he's going to use them all to the best he can to see what they've got. And they're all going in the same direction. They're all singing for the same hymn sheet, if you know what I mean. There's nobody saying, right, I don't like him. They're all focusing that way. And it's a change. And over a short period of time, and you're going and watching Rangers, and yeah, you know it might not be pretty, but you know, 1-1 the other night, I was a result. What would I get years ago?
Yeah.
I mean, we'd been poor, but we came away with a 1 and we're like, this is what we do. Arsenal do it constantly. Do you know what I mean? That's the results that good teams have to do, and I'll be happy if we get another 10, 15 of these, because there's the points you need. Nobody remembers if you won 4-0, if you don't want anything, but if you can constantly get the wins on the belt, the players improve, the morale improves, everything just gets better when you're winning, and that's what he's trying to do. So I'm actually on the Danny Röhl train. I have to say, I wasn't to start because I didn't know a lot about him. I knew briefly at Sheffield Wednesday, but he's come out and he's surprised me what he's done very, very quickly.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll be talking express club for some moment. I'll start with you, Scott, just because Ricky Benny's bed when this happened. So Monday night, as soon as the pod finished, Ricky went straight to his bed because it's a time difference over there. But my phone, your phone, and everybody else's phone across Scotland blew up as the news came through that Brendan Rodgers had resigned, and then that Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney had come into charge, and then a couple of minutes later, Dermot Desmond's statement obliterates Brendan Rodgers. But it was a strange evening, and it's been a bit of a strange week in the world of Scottish football.
It's just like us last season, man. They've employed, they went back the way and employed O'Neill and Maloney and other coaches. We've done the same with Ferguson, bringing in old legends just to see it through until they can appoint somebody else. I was surprised that Rodgers walked, resigned, or sacked, whatever you want to call it. But I can see it coming, Gary. Even though I was surprised, I can see him leaving at the end of the season.
I thought he was going. I think I knew he was going, but just
I don't think it's a lot of it's well at Celtic at the moment. Listen, I don't know a lot about it. I don't really take note.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time because I'm not that interested, to be honest. But just very brief.
I was surprised, but listen, whatever they do, they do. I mean, I just want to focus on us. But all I will say is skin tight, tracky bottoms isn't a great look for a 73-year-old.
I've not seen that, thankfully. Again, that could be a Halloween outfit for somebody. So, Ricky, press conference. We talk a lot about Danny Röhl. That was his press conference today. I listened to it earlier on. And I think that whole well-worn phrase, it speaks well, is very evident again today. He was very much feet on the ground. It's small steps. It's literally 2 games. They tried to bait him a little bit with Martin O'Neill's comments when he was in TalkSport, but he kind of batted them away quite easily. He has very measured, very calm, like I said, very much as Scott says about including all the players together, making it a team, inclusive. Some will play, some will all play, they'll all get a chance. We'll start to look at it as. He said all the right things, but said nothing at the same time.
Yes, he's very measured, yeah. He's very measured, yeah. No, he's good. He's very... I just feel like he's in control. I'm very surprised, Gary, for his age. He's like... Okay, he's totally the opposite from other people we've had in the past. I'm not going to drag up other names and everything, but what I'll say about him is I feel like he's very in control. I feel like he's very smart. I think he can watch any game of football and decipher it very fast and work out a plan of that, okay, this is what we need to do. This is how we're going to play against them. And some of the people that he's impressed in the past and everything like that. And don't forget me wrong, he's coming in, he's played in, Rangers are a massive club, but there's clubs in the world that are like super clubs, and Bayern Munich is like a super, like top 4 or 5 clubs in the world. So if you're at Bayern Munich with Fink as his number 2, and you're playing these huge matches against like Dortmund and stuff like that, that sets you up perfect for this, that you know that you cannot lose this football match coming into a Rangers Celtic game. So it's not like he's just came from Sheffield Wednesday and he doesn't have any other experience. He's been the German manager's job. I mean, okay, he was a vice manager under it. That is as brutal as it gets for scrutiny and stuff like that. So I thought he spoke really well. But I'm not, to be honest with you, Gary, we'll speak about it and that, but I'm not interested in press conferences or anything like that. We've been burnt so much by people and managers and stuff. It is great to actually, the most important thing for me is to actually see it on the pitch, and that's what he's doing. We were worried about him because we were worried that he was going to come in. The Brand match, we got hammered 3-0. You can't say that he gets zero responsibility for him about that football match. I thought it was interesting today. He had that confidence. He says, I wish I could get that one back and play that game again now that I've known my players for like 10 days. I thought that was a very interesting comment. But he handled the press very well. He can tell there's a few divvies in the room that are asking him daft questions, and he just bats them away. But for me, he's delivering on the pitch, and that's exactly... And the board, there's nobody, believe me, us Rangers fans are happy. There's nobody more happy than the Americans and Felwell and Stewart and all that, because they're just happy it's taken a little bit of the heat off of them. And this guy that's actually sat in front of them and says, this is what I can do, is actually shown it on the pitch, and long may it continue. And I think for just going on, the last thing about Danny Röhl is I don't think we have the players to play 4-3-3. And I think he knows that because I don't think we've got... I think he'll try and mould Shermitty into that single striker, but Miovski can't play on his own up front. Danilo can't play on his own up front. So I think until you get to January, he's pretty much going to have to stick with us. He'll tweak it with this 3-4-3 or 3-5-3. I think this is what you're going to see, mate. And it's going to be pretty much tweaking it this way until we get to the January window. And how many great signings can you bring in January? So this might be what we're seeing for the season. But he knows how to tactically adapt within that system. So I'm quite happy for that, to see that until the end of the season, until he can change the squad. And because he knows how to change it to make it defensive, flexible, make it more attacking, like I was speaking about before. So very happy with everything with Danny Röhl so far.
So, Scott, we're going to go into the game now, so let's spend some time previewing the game. It's really interesting. There's lots of different ways you can look at this. So I'm going to kind of try to fire some questions at you and get your thoughts on them. One of them is that we played 3 at the back the last 2 games, Scott, and he's talked about the reason he's played 3 at the back is because of the high direct balls, I think was his way to describe it. So his rationale for playing against Hibs and Kilmarnock was because of the directness of their play. Now, arguably, you think that wouldn't necessarily be Celtic style. They've not got Bobo Baldi and Johan Mjalby and Yusuf Harn and all that there at this moment in time. So, in terms of formation, do you still think it will be a 3 at the back, or do you think that he may revert to match up with them? Was it 4-3-1-2, or whatever you call it?
To be honest with you, Gary, in my opinion, listen, he could change it because that's what good managers do. He could, but I would stick with a 3. I don't trust Tav in a 4. I think anybody that runs at Tav's going by him. I think that's just what happened. I think Tav's good going that way, but defensively, we've known him for years. But even now, because his legs are worse, I think they go by him. So I would stick with a 3. I think the 3's working at the moment, and I think we look more solid. And I will say, I like when Fernandez came on the last few minutes at Hibs game. I thought he won a cut of headers, and that's what he's paid to do. He's not a fancy footballer. He just come on, boof, cut of headers, headed that away, and that's why we signed a boy that size to win the headers. So I think he will stick with a 3. But listen, Danny Röhl's a better coach than me, so he could probably say, right, you say Celtic don't play that type of football. I'll go to a 4 and we'll match up with him.
And Gary's right. That's what I mean. Just the game he came in, it happened against Brann. Every goal we were losing was between the fullback and the centre back. Mm-hmm. Every single goal we've been losing is a simple ball over the top, and they get in behind us. Look at some of the goals we've lost under Martin. They're absolutely carry-on circus, comical goals. Some of the goals we've lost, and there's 10 goals probably we lost this season with just a simple ball over the top. Hibs almost did it to us the last time with Boyle, where he handled it, and it was it. So he's nailed that. He's hit that nail into the grass straight away. So another good tick for him for me.
No, I agreed. You know, and the thing was, I talked in these press conferences. You remind me of something else. He was going about his counter pressing. I think the third goal against Kilmarnock and the goal they scored on Wednesday night. He's talking about pressing from the front. And I think we've talked a lot about all the goals we've lost this season have often came because we've not been pressing, which has meant guys are able to just pass the ball through. So the fact of stopping at the source. So if we do go 3 at the back, right, so we'll work on the basis we go 3 at the back, Ricky, right? Celtic's strongest part of the team is probably the left-hand side. Their left-hand side, so Tierney, Taneke and Maeda, right? They're arguably their strongest side. Do you think there's any chance we might go with something like Aaron's right wing back for that tightness, that strength and that defensiveness? Maybe go Gassama left wing back for the attacking threat down their side, because obviously if you look at it, their weakest side is down their side. That side, Ralston against Gassama, I'd like to see.
Yeah, well, I think it'll be that. I think that other guy they signed played against Falkirk and was decent. The left back, the Argentinian guy, and then they've got the Tunisian, the guy you're on about on the left. I don't know if Maeda will play, and if he does, he'll play as a central striker for sure, because that guy's playing left wing. That Tunisian guy. So, the only thing I worry about that, right, is. We have to be offensive as well. So I worry that if we play like we did against Hibs and we put an Aarons in and ever play a Tav or a Jigga at right centre back, I'm just worried that we're not going to be able to get forward enough, and they're going to be coming on us, and they can. If Moore's not smart enough to be picking up Callum McGregor because he's the one that makes them tick, still someone's got to be on him to stop him playing. But I think if we're aggressive in the press, like we were against Hibs, and we can keep that, I think we can shock Celtic. So I would like us to be a little bit more offensive. And I know you have to worry about, but I think they're that dodgy at the back for me. If we get at them and press them, I think we can scare them and get a good victory on Sunday in the 90 minutes. I don't think we need to be worrying about extra time or penalties. But I think Röhl has to set us up right for us to be able to do that. And I've got every confidence. We're speaking on a podcast. We're dafties. I work on an oil rig. You work with houses and Kerr works in a hospital. I've got every confidence Röhl we'll get this right and combat Celtic the right way. But for me, I'd like I know what you're saying about with the back five, with 2 defenders on the right-hand side, but I would rather we had an offensive player. My only worry is I agree that Gassam has been poor and probably the worst player since Röhl came in, actually. He's been moved playing a different role on the right-hand side. He's been really poor. My only is, who would you play in that right position if you play an offensive right back, a right wing back? Because your 3 choices would be Ant-Man, Curtis, or Gassama. So is he gonna? That's your only concern. Gassama's shit out of form. Ant-Man, I don't think he likes, because he wasn't even in the last squad. And then, Curtis is really the only one that's not been given minutes yet. So I don't think he'd bring him in out the cold. So that'll be interesting to see.
No, I suppose that's my point. I was thinking about it earlier on. I do actually like the idea of Aaron's maybe a bit more solid defensively and let the speed of Gassama go against Ralston, particularly when they've got 2 left-footed centre-backs, so that the balance is off with that side. So if he's cutting inside, might actually work quite well. But I'm giving away my team.
So sorry, if you're playing Gassama on the left
wing back.
Oh, so you're dropping McHoma?
Yes.
Oh,
can't drop Mahoma. He's been playing superb.
No, he's our best player. He's been our best player since Röhl came in.
He's not been playing superb. I think he's playing all right.
Oh man, honestly,
he's playing all right. But I think Gassama offers the attacking threat, and Aaron's offers the defensive stability. I think that's
it's no the worst idea. So you're basically taking my idea.
I'll get to my team later on. I'm a wee bit
No,
more
but you're taking my idea, but you're doing it on the left side instead of the right hand side, which is I didn't think about that, but you're actually right what you're saying. I think that's a good idea actually, because Gassama against Ralston, you could be right there. It's actually
I would go with Mahoma and I would go with Ant-Man on the other side.
Ant-Man's not going to be near the team, I don't think. I don't think.
You never know, Gary. Nobody was picking 5 changes on Wednesday, so you just don't know.
And he's that's true. We don't, but he doesn't. Well, he's not. I don't even know if he's fit still. So anyway, the defence. I suppose the other point of the defenders is the back. So we've done the wing backs. Back 3 is, I think, one of the things.
I would go with same 3 centre backs all night.
I would expect. I would personally go Tav as you'd fully expect, but not because of the defensive side, mainly because I think you need somebody who can step out in the midfield, and I don't think any of the other 2, 3 can do that. If you are going to go more attacking, you want somebody who can maybe move into the back, move further forward with the ball to match up.
I wouldn't play Tav, but that's just my opinion. I would keep him on the bench. I wouldn't play him.
No, I mean, I get the point, but I think Giga. I think if you want to go more offensive, I suppose that's why I'm thinking that that allows you to push up a little bit more. I don't know what you, Ricky, but your thoughts on the actual back 3.
I think it's an interesting one because Jigga I think Jigga can be like a proper outstanding defender. You saw that against Hibs, so you need to worry about if they do play Maeda through the middle. There's a good chance they might play Kenny because he scored a couple of goals through the week. And I was watching a few things today, and they expect him to play because O'Neill, he scored a couple of goals and stuff like that, and Maeda's just coming back from injury. So it'll be interesting to see who they play through the middle. But I think I would be happy with either or. To be honest, I agree Tav can move into midfield, but I do like Jigga, Cornelius, and Suter. I think that's a strong, and they've got pace as well, so they can go into midfield and carry the ball and push the game up and stuff like that. So if you had to push me, I would probably go Jigga, Suter, and Cornelius would be my 3 centre backs.
Yeah, so we'll move into Scott. We're just going to work our way through the team, right? We're going to set the 2 midfielders. So we have obviously Barron's injured, Scott. So we have
suspended
Raskin and another, which would play between Rothwell, Dio, and arguably Cameron. Some would say who also didn't get in the squad during the week.
Yeah, I don't know why he was in the squad, but I'm not sure who he brings in next to Raskin myself. I think it has to be somebody that can be box to box. And Rothwell, for me, is a no. Because he pulls Pedro's caravan behind him through struggles. It's either going to have to be Barami or Dio, isn't it? I like Lyle Cameron, but I don't know if he'll bring him back in for us. But I think you have to play somebody with asking legs. I know Sean just said that Dio has got legs, but Dio's no physical enough for me sometimes.
His performance against Celtic was decent over that.
He has played well
He
against
has been
Celtic.
alright, Gary, but he still lacks a bit of physicality.
Aye. So who you going with then? Let's keep moving through the pitch, Scott. Who's two midfielders in Raskin and
He probably will bring in Dio, so I'll say Dio, but I'm 100% sure that's the right choice.
Ricky? Any difference from any
No,
advances on that?
Raskin and Dio, 100%. Raskin and Dio should be, and it will be. I'm not Dio. A big day for Dio because we need everyone on the same page. We need them working like dogs in midfield. But Diomande and Raskin are good pals off the pitch. They seem to play well together, and for me, they two will play together. Barron would have been one of the first names on the team sheet, by the way, if he wasn't suspended. But Diomande and Raskin for me.
So we'll move further forward then. Now the options are obviously Mikey Moore has played, and there's kind of two scenarios here, Ricky. You can either play with two number 10s and a striker, potentially, so Asgard, Moore, and the striker, or you could play with effectively a number 10 like Asgard or Moore, then two strikers. So what are you thinking?
Easy for me. It's simple as anything. You've got to keep it with Moore because I think Moore, that position was made for him. That number 10, Asgard. For me, you can't risk him in this game. He could do something magic, but for me, sometimes he's running in treacle, an Old Firm game. This is the most important role in the team because you have to be on Callum McGregor and not let him dictate the match and have any space whatsoever. So for me, Mikey Moore, give him a job that you need to tell McGregor, run your ass off, try and create, and give support to Shermiti and Danilo. They three for me pick themselves. They're the three players that are on for him. And everyone else will be involved later. So Asgard will come on later. Miofsky will come on later. This is an Old Firm game. The players will be knackered after 60 minutes of shift that they're going to have to put in. So these guys are going to be needed. Who were you speaking about earlier? The guy. These guys are going to be needed later on in the match. So just because they don't start, they're going to be part of it at some point because subs will be needed.
Yeah, I'll come to you, Scott. So I'm going to go right. So I'm going to go wildcard this again. So I'm going to go with Moore and Asgard playing behind the striker. I think two kind of number 10s, and I think that's how he might go and push him that way.
What striker, Gary?
The striker with Danilo.
That's the way he might go. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind that, to be fair. But I think because of Celtic's defence, because where they are, if you play two up front, you're putting pressure on Scales and Thurston and great. They're decent in there, both of them, but they're no great footballers. And Mikey Moore's come into a game the last couple, he played well the other night. A toss-up between him and Asgard for me. Either one I'd be happy with, to be honest with you, because I think, like you said, I think one will go off the other one anyway. So, or I don't mind any if whoever starts, whoever comes on.
Right. So, because we talked about those, your team lineup then, Ricky. Full team, give us it.
Butland in goal. I'm probably going right back. I'm going to go Gassama. I'm going to right wing back Gassama. Defence, Jigga, Cornelius and Suter at the three at the back. Mighoma left back. Raskin and Dio. Moore, number 10, and very important role. Shermiti and Danilo up front. 2-0 Rangers.
Don't tell the score yet.
I'll probably go with Mighoma. The same three as Ricky's picked. But I'm going to go with Aarons. If that man's not a picture, I would have preferred that man, but I'll go with Aarons. Dio and Raskin, and I'll go with Asgard and Shermiti and Danilo.
And I've got Butland, Aarons right wing back, Tav, Suter and Cornelius in the back three, Gassama left wing back, Raskin, Dio, then with Asgard and Moore playing behind Danilo up front. So effectively two number 10s playing behind Danilo. Just in that kind of hopefully. So now we're on the score then. Predicted scoreline, Ricky, and tell us now, what did you have?
I'll go 2-0. 2-0, and I'm going to say Shermiti's going to score and become a cult hero, and Danilo. And my predicted team from the manager is Kelly in goal, Right back will be, God knows, it'll be, it was mad. Fernandez will be in defence. It'll be a mad line-up starting. No, and that's what is exciting about it, Gary. It's exciting for it to all be. We're buzzing. We've got Rangers back in a way. We're buzzing to watch the game again, mate, which I'm excited
You're
about.
muted.
So, no.
No, can I hear everybody there, Scott, for a second? No, can you hear you fine, Ricky? So you both went silent on me there. Scott, you hear us, Scott?
My sound's weird, I think.
Can you hear us though? No. Right, Scott's went silent, so we will
That's
never
all right.
know his score. We will never know his score.
What are you saying, Gary?
I've got 2-1 Rangers after extra time. Gassama and Shamita, I think it's a good shout as well. Shamita just to finish to break that voodoo. But I do think we go extra time. I think we tight. We can hear you, Scott. Fine. Can you not hear us?
We can hear you, mate. We can hear you.
When I mute him because he's just talking away there.
Do you still hear me all right?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can't hear anybody. I can't hear nothing. I can't hear anything.
Score.
I can't hear you or Ricky.
Score. Score, Kerr.
What's your score?
I'm going to go 1 each. Not go extra time, and we'll win in extra time.
Ideal.
Same as you, Gary.
Same
I
as me.
think the game could go either way. Because I think both teams can beat each other over the 90 minutes. So I think it'll be a draw. And then Rangers will win in extra time.
Sounds good. So we're all pumping for a Rangers win. We will hopefully be successful and build momentum further. That'll be three wins in a row. We'll win a League Cup final. Ricky, what do you think? Do you know if we do reach a League Cup final or Premier Sports Cup final, whatever it's called? Do you know what does that do potentially to win a trophy as early as this?
Well, it'll be fantastic for the new manager, and it'll be deserved for the new manager. He's come in. There's no many clubs you come into where straight away you're playing in semi-finals and you've got a chance to win I can't remember when. Is it before Christmas? After Christmas? The final? When's the final?
December, middle of December.
Middle of December, so fantastic before. I mean, that's a great time to win. And the League Cup used to be ours, Gary. We used to that trophy used to be ours. And it was always the catalyst for a fantastic season. So for me, everything's still to play for this season. I think it's going to be a unique season because Celtic are now in a really great place and they're struggling to find a new manager with the way things are looking so far. Hearts are definitely going to be pulled back in, Gary. I'm not saying Hearts is bubbles away to burst or anything daft like that, because that's not going to happen. They've got a great manager, they've got a very good team, but they are going to drop points. We're almost at the first quarter of league games played. What does the league look like when we get to the halfway point? That's what I'm interested in. So if you can win that League Cup and give this squad a massive confidence boost, the fans, if we win, even tomorrow's a massive game, Gary, because if we win on Sunday, and then we play Roma on Thursday, Ibrox is going to be absolutely bouncing on Thursday. And these players have never seen anything like that before. A lot of the new players, it's been pretty crap. The atmospheres have not been that great. Even in the early games we've played at Ibrox, the atmospheres are never, it's not a proper Ibrox European night. But Roma, if we beat Celtic on Sunday, will be a proper Ibrox. Will be buzzing, it'll be purring, it'll be crackling. And that'll be fantastic for these players to see it. And some of them have even spoke about it. And they've had a rough ride, some of these players, with the way that the seasons went so far. So if we can get into that final on Sunday, Sunday will be amazing if we beat them. The fans are going to be up for it. The players will be up for it. The new manager will be up for it. And then after that, you get that snowball rolling, mate. And then let's see where the season takes us.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and see if Scott speak. There we go.
That's just strange, man. I can't hear nothing. I think I went deaf. My final thoughts are, Gary, I'm looking forward to the game on Sunday. I think we will get to the final, but I think it will be an extra time. That's basically it. And I'm looking forward to where Danny Röhl takes us this season. I think there's a lot of things to look forward to. But like I said before, it's a game at a time.
Yeah. And on that note, we will come to the end of tonight's podcast. Happy Halloween, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your evening. For those that are going out to trick-or-treating or partying or going out wherever it may be dressed up, stay safe. We will be back on Sunday or Monday, depending on when Scott's going to be on holiday next week. He can't hear me, so I can say whatever I want.
New York.
He's going away on holiday next week, so we may come on the Sunday because he might, or potentially the Monday, depending time. So look out for it. If you're please like, share, and subscribe. If you've subscribed, it will give you notifications when we are on. So we will see you at the beginning of next week, hopefully into League Cup final. And until then, enjoy your weekend, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye now.